Trading Podcast.
Oh, start over, Joe. It just started.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Got to jump the gun there. Uh, it's just Randy and myself today. Uh, Mike is emceeing from obscurity. Nobody can see him or hear him. He's doing some other stuff. Tim will not be here today. He's got a big construction project going on around his office, and it's too noisy. He was on the micro moment trading this morning. It was pretty noisy. Uh, I do our micro moment, and Randy does several of our other techniques. So let me tell you about micro moment. Today we meet every Monday through Friday when the market's open from 8:30 Central to 9:30 Central. It's an hour. And, we do our trades. Usually the trade lasts 10 seconds. We're in and out. Anything overnight or longer than a minute, let's say, probably be max. And our returns today, kind of a slow day. We had two trades, one 6.3% and one a little over 4, or 10.43% for this morning. We're up for the week, 107.9158 looks like for the week, which includes the trades today. So we'll probably go 100 and end up 150, little luck, maybe 200% for the week. Again, we only trade indexes. Well, except for Apple, we treat that sort of like an index. We trade QQQ, SPY. We don't look for anything. We just trade the volume. No matter whether the market's up or down, doesn't make one bit of difference to us. With our returns, like on Monday, we were up 19% plus. Tuesday, 51 plus. Yesterday, 26 plus. And today, 10.43. We've been doing those micro moment trades as a subscription service for 5 weeks, averaged over 100% per week. We've been doing it for about 6 years in our own account. We still do trades that we do during the session by Cezanne and by Tim. They come on, they tell you what they're going into, they tell you when they go into it and when they get out of it. And that's the same trades that we're doing. So Randy, why don't you come on and tell folks what you do? You've had some great trades during this session here. He's already had one huge trade today, or at least one today. One huge trade and some others also. Go ahead, Randy.
Well, Joe, as you know, I really use all the different techniques that we teach, everything that we've taught over all the years. I do some of those every week. So I do the micro moment trades. That's not my concentration because that's what Tim does, but I still do some micro moment trades. And today I switched over from SPX because I usually do it on SPX, the S&P 500 index. But this week I've switched over to SPY because the premiums are just astronomical on SPX, and I just didn't want to put that much money into each contract. So get the same percentage return between SPX and SPY because they go up and down together, but just have a whole lot less capital invested in a contract with the SPY. So today my SPY micro moment trade was 12.0%. And I don't know if I'll do some more, but the chart's going really pretty good today. There's been some pretty good swings today in the market from just going almost straight up to then dropping, then going up again, and now dropping, and now it's looks like it's starting to make its way back up again, even though it's been negative most of the day. So that's micro moment trading. Then on Mondays, I teach momentum trading, where micro moment trading is very fast, in, out, in like a minute. It's 100% back to cash before the end of the day. As Joe said, there's no risk of whatever happens to the market overnight or what it does at the start of the next day. You just start all over again with the cash that you kept from the day before. Momentum trading is a little bit slower paced. It uses the daily advanced chart, the proprietary charting package that Joe's team has put together. And I just want to mention that those returns that Joe's talked about and that I got on SPY this morning, those are only possible because of the intraday streaming chart, the proprietary chart that Micro Moment Trading has put together. If you don't have that chart, you're not going to make these kinds of returns. That's what allows us to see the beginning of momentum and then quickly close it for a profit. And you just learn how to read those lines, and it basically shows you now's the time to get in, now's the time to get out. With the momentum trade, I use a daily chart. So the intraday streaming chart that Joe uses is moving constantly. It's just moving up and down every time the price changes just about. The daily advanced chart that I teach how to read on Mondays, it moves every day. So it's a slower pace, but we're still looking for the beginning of the rising cycle. So we go through multiple different charts. It's the same chart, but it's on different equities. So we'll just keep looking from equity to equity to equity until we find the stock or ETF or index. It works on all of those. We find the one that's right at the beginning of a rising cycle. Then we simply buy a call, let it go up, and sell it for a profit. That's what we call momentum trading. And I teach that every Monday morning. I have a live in the market coaching session. Lasts a little over an hour. It goes as long as there's questions, but I teach that process and we go through and search for positions every Monday. And Joe, just I'll give a little teaser for coming attractions.
Okay.
I'm working on adding extra into the training. Eventually, it's not going to be like in the next week or two, but I'm actually adding management process. This has been a real volatile market for anyone that's been watching anything this year. The Dow could be up 300 points in the morning and down 500 in the afternoon, and it could be down 600 in the morning and be up 500 in the afternoon. That's the kind of volatility that we have. So really kind of looking into the probabilities of something going up, it all looks good, and then all of a sudden something can change. So where the momentum trade relies on just buying the call, having it go up and selling it, I'm actually working on a management process that says, what do you do if it doesn't go up? If it starts going down, we're going to be able to generate income on it and continue to manage it until it goes back up again and just generate more and more income. And it highly increases the percent of positions that close for a profit. It highly increases that percentage. And so that's a coming attraction, just a little teaser, but that won't be for a while. I'm working on how to teach that process and technique. So that'll be really fun. It'll make that momentum trading process just be absolutely phenomenal. Now, in addition to teaching the momentum trading on Mondays, I also teach covered call coaching on Wednesdays. And a covered call, for those that don't know, is you buy a stock and you sell a call against it. So selling a call is a risky thing if you don't have the stock. So you buy the stock, sell a call. That's a covered call. So if you get called out, you got the stock already and you sell it. So we teach in a 2-day seminar, we teach that whole process of how to do that, how to select the position, what to do to make sure that it'll be profitable, and all of the management techniques that go along with it in case it goes down instead of up. So we teach that in the 2-day seminar. Joe is there, and I support that coaching every week on Thursday evening. But on Wednesday morning, for those that want to be advanced on the covered call technique and want to increase their return substantially, I teach how to do a synthetic covered call. So instead of buying the stock and selling a call against it, I buy a call and sell a call against it. So when I sell the call, I get income. You get money immediately when you sell a call against either a stock or an option. So that's what I do on Wednesdays. And yesterday, actually, I entered a synthetic cover call on Disney and actually closed it today. I didn't wait till expiration. I just closed it today. And that was a 35.6% return from yesterday to today. Now, in the coaching seminar, the coaching webinar, the coaching service that I provide on Wednesdays, that subscription includes me sending out an email when I find a position that I'm going to personally enter into my own account, or it's time to do a management step on an existing position. I send an email out to everybody that subscribes and says, this is what I'm getting ready to do. Now, the purpose of that is to place everything in your virtual trading account so that you can follow along hands on and learn step by step by virtually watching over my shoulder to learn the process in real time. You put it in your virtual trading account and then you can follow right along and you're not risking any money. And then you learn the process. And when you've learned it to your satisfaction and you show that and demonstrate to yourself that you're mastering the technique, then you do whatever that you wish. But I sent out to enter the Disney position yesterday and then I closed it today. And the synthetic calls don't take a lot of money to implement. I only paid 73 cents a share for the position when I entered it. So I didn't have to pay $145 a share for the stock. I did 73 cents. And I closed it today for 99 cents. So that 26 cents a share increase was 35.6% return for just one day of investment. So we teach all of that, how to do that on Wednesday, and let you follow along all throughout the week, ask questions, attend the webinar live, or we also record it while it's going on so you can watch it later on if you can't be there when it's being done live, or you just want to say, wow, that was a lot. Let me review that again. And you can watch it over and over and over again and use that training session to really lock in on how to do the process. And then you send in questions if there's something that I need to explain a little bit better so that you can master the process and technique. So it's fun. I enjoy doing it. It's fun myself. As a matter of fact, Joe, this is interesting. As you know, Joe, I just got back from playing in a baseball tournament down in Fort Myers on the Red Sox spring training facilities, and it was Thursday through Tuesday. We ended up playing 6 games, came in 3rd place, but had a hotel and had a teammate as a roommate. We drove down together and then stayed together and went to the games. And he is interested in how to do cover calls. He has existing stocks, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
He has a portfolio of existing stocks. He's just had them in there, watching them go up and down. Some of them pay a little bit of a dividend, but he hasn't been doing any of them. And he's got hundreds and thousands of shares of things like Apple and Microsoft and Southern Company and things like that. And so he was actually watching as I was doing some of my training and said, hey, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could generate income.
Here's the amazing thing, Randy, and that's, we talk about this all the time. He has all those stocks. It's like he owns apartment houses, but he's not renting them. And when you've taken your courses, you learn if you've got existing stocks, you learn if you don't have existing stocks, you learn which ones to buy, how do you determine which ones to buy that can give you the best returns. But he's got those stocks, so he's leaving money on the table each month. They didn't rent one, and you learn he runs no risk of by renting them. It's just like rental property. I mean, nothing's going to happen. If your tenant moves out, it means you just didn't rent it for the next month on purpose. You can rent it every day or every month, whatever schedule you're on. So it's just a huge amount. To give you an example, $2,000, $2,000 one time. I'm sure he's got a stock that's worth at least $2,000 one time. And if you just follow our guys, Cezanne and Tim, in your trades also, If you just made 7% a week, you made 30% in a day here, plus 30 plus in a day on just one stock. They made, 10 today and 20 something yesterday. If you just make 7% a week, 2,000 turns into $350,000 in 2 years, just 2 years, and 7% a week based on that. It's what 40, 50,000 bucks a week that you make, and that's the potential. And your friend has it, and that's what's just amazing.
Yeah, we actually went through I think four of his stocks that he just currently has. So this is just
Yeah,
he's already been invested. We went through four of them and went through what we call the fast cash, because these are stocks then he doesn't have to sell them. He's got a low cost basis on them because he's
yeah,
had them for a while. Doesn't really want to sell them, but we can generate income without selling that stock. And we went through four of them, and he calculated in January that says he can earn between $5,000 and $6,000 a month just selling calls against what he already has.
that's right.
Things that he has that he hasn't generated any income on. Now
Yeah.
he can do a process. So he said that next week he was going to try to do a couple contracts on Apple to kind of get started and get rolling.
Yeah, even if you have a dividend paying stock, dividends are never huge, maybe three. Big one, huge would be 4% a year. You still gonna get your dividend, and then you're gonna pick up all that additional income. So it's just absolutely no brainer. I mean, again, it's just like owning real estate, but you don't rent it. When you own the stocks, you're not doing the covered calls. And then take your seminar, they're going to learn how to do it right. You can do it wrong, screw up your whole portfolio. But if you're doing it right, it's easy to do it right, and that's all we've ever taught. It's interesting when you're talking about your returns on this one day stock, because I know your returns are double digits every week. But if you remember back when, Randy, I've been doing this 20 years, Randy's doing it together 16. And back 16 years ago, Randy and I were just kicking ourselves if we could kicking ourselves out of delight if we could get 3% a month, 3% a month. But in the course of all these 16 years, things have changed. Not been so much as our techniques certainly changed. It's changed in adapting it to all the fantastic things trade platforms have come up with. You couldn't do the trades that Randy does today, or that our micro moment people do today, if we were 15, 16 years ago, because the information wasn't there, it's here. And, people say, oh, that's magic. No, it's not magic. It's just we've got a great technique that we've slowly adapted to meet up with the huge advances of all the trading platforms with all the information. Information is king here. Now it's just king. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and one of the comments that he made, he says, hey, that's just like getting a dividend every week. That's what it is. You're generating your own dividend on your stocks week after week after week, and you don't ever have to sell that stock. Now, you have to learn the process and the technique, and it's not real complicated, not real complex, but we teach how to do that in the Wednesday morning coaching session, and you can learn all the process and technique to be able to generate income on a stock that you just never want to sell, and you don't have to ever get in a position to sell it, but still generate income on a weekly basis. If it has weekly options, and most of the major stocks have weekly options, and you can generate income week after week after week on that same position.
That's one of the big things that's changed, this weekly situation. Back when Randy and I, 16 years ago, there was only one expiration, the third Friday of each month, and it still exists today. But they've added now multiple expirations during each week. Sometimes just one, but at least it's 4 times now instead of just once a month. That is tremendous, and that's like this helps this gentleman out. And expiration means that thing's going to disappear. Randy teaches him how to structure where that expiration day comes, and he just lets it sit there. And it's going to disappear, and he's going to keep his money, and then go back the next week and do it again, and, with virtually 100% no risk. He has risk only if he does it wrong, but it's so easy to do right. So it's just a huge advantages for both our techniques here, our micro moment stuff, and Randy's, which Randy has micro moment too, and we just kid him, he just does it slower because he's older. But
But Joe, see, that's the thing is, you're not gonna learn how to do this process from the mainstream media, from the mainstream traders, because that's not what they do. They're speculating. they're always speculating, saying, "I think this is going to happen. I think I've studied this. I've looked at that, and I've interviewed this guy, and this is what I think is going to happen. So this is what I'm going to do." And it's all speculation. If the stock doesn't go in the way that they expected, they lose money.
Mhm.
By using the covered call the way we teach it and the management process, it doesn't matter which direction that the stock goes. You can still generate income on that position. And with this kind of specialized technique for a stock you just never want to sell, you can just generate income on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
With whether it goes up or down, it makes no difference. You're still going to just keep generating that income, and it's a stock that all you've done is watched it go up and down and up and down and up and down, and you go, "Hey, it's up today. I just made money. Oh no, it went down today.
Yeah.
Went down tomorrow. I didn't make any money," and it just sits there. But by being able to learn and Joe hit on it, the proper construction, how to select the appropriate call to sell against it to generate income without getting called out, you can take control of your own portfolio and generate income way better than whatever your broker or financial planner or whatever is.
All stocks, all stocks go up and all stocks go down. And the key to our micro moment is we only deal with indexes in Apple, and we're only in them for a few seconds, so that's not a concern of ours. Randy not only does indexes, tremendous leverage, but he also does stocks. Like the gentleman that has those stocks, and they're going to go up and down. But Randy's going to teach you how to make money when the stock goes down and when the stock goes up. You just don't want it. We have criteria for stock. You don't want a stock that has potential so weak if you go out of business. That's the only time you're ever going to get burnt if the stock goes out of business, because you lose everything. Never had one. Well, I've had one over almost 60 years of trading. Only one stock went out of business, but it's just an incredible way to leisurely make tremendous amounts of money in the stock market, you might say. So anyhow,
Jim has a question. He said, "Randy, your new cover call management technique that you're working on, do you see that as a weekend webinar or part of your weekly cover call service?" That the little teaser I gave was about the advanced charting technique, not about the cover call technique. It's for the momentum trade that I teach in the advanced charting coaching sessions every Monday morning. That's where I'm working on adding some additional steps in there that greatly increase the percentage of positions that are closed for a profit. And that will be probably a special workshop that will be teaching that. But again, it's not coming around the corner. It's going to be a couple months down the road as I fine tune the teaching of the technique. I've been doing the process for years and years and years, but how to actually make it easy to how to teach it so it's easy to understand for everybody. I'm working on that. That takes me a while to do that.
yeah,
So stay tuned.
it's interesting because this situation would apply to many people out there. The way Randy got started, he came to the first seminar we ever gave in Atlanta, and he was getting ready to retire with his entire career, and had a bunch of stock options, and they were going to have a big changeover in executives, and he had the opportunity to retire. Now, a lot of people in the same company did also. He was one of the few that was able to pick up and do it because he could take the stock he had and live off the income from that stock. Not the dividends. It was a big dividend payer, but he could live off the money he would generate from doing covered calls. He was one of the few people that got to retire from that company at that particular time in history because he could generate tremendous amount of money. He still got that stock today. I'm sure you still do covered calls on that stock today. Or if you were sitting there trying to live off the dividends a long time ago, you probably would have had to sell the stock because they weren't big dividend payers. And, 16 years ago was a long time ago. So just goes to show you the flexibility this gives you. And if you want to go to our website, micromomenttrading.com, support, or I guess www.micromomenttrading.com. www.micromomenttrading.com.
Yeah.
Brand new website up there, and you can have access, learn all kinds of things about us, and all our teaching is seminars and such. You can also sign up from that seminar, and also you get some free time. I know in our weekly micro moment trading, I think you get 2 weeks free to attend and try that out. And I think Randy has some of his seminars where you might get something period of time with no charge. I don't know, but a lot of stuff
Yeah,
going
but
on.
you can find out by going to the website at www.micromomenttrading.com. You can find out the schedule of when we're teaching the next technique or process. And we've got the micro moment trading. That's a really fast paced one that actually Joe and Tim and Micah and Cezanne teach every morning for about an hour of teach you how to generate income where you're in and out in a minute and generating 3, 4, 5% return on each of those trades. And then we have advanced charting, and then we have covered calls, and all of those seminars are listed on the website for when we are teaching those next ones. We also have a workshop for how to generate income on dividend paying stocks as well. So we have different workshops as well in addition to the major seminars.
Every several months, I do a seminar. It's a 2-day seminar, Saturday and Sunday, and it's called Covered Calls and Leaps of Wealth Option. And I got the name of the book. It's Covered Call Seminar. The last 2 days, Randy's usually there, and showing you how to do all kinds of stuff, charting and trades and such. Um, so we do that, and so we have a lot of stuff going on all the time. But the neat thing is, you're not expected to trade for an hour a day. And the other thing Randy does, and we certainly do it with the micro moment trading, these things are leveraged astronomically without the use of margin. So you have no risk of using margin or anything. And for instance, Randy, that trade you just did, 31% return. How much did you actually have in on a trade on that?
73 cents per share was all of the, and it was on a stock that's trading right now at $153 a share. So that's the huge leverage of being able to generate a return and an income and get all the cash. I've got all the capital back that I invested yesterday. I've got that 73 cents plus an extra 26 cents per share. So that's a great return. But that's the leverage Joe's talking about, is by learning this synthetic covered call process where I buy an option instead of the stock. It tremendously increases your overall returns.
Yeah, Randy, I don't have my screen up, but for instance, Apple's the big one we use on our micro moment trading. And today, if you were doing one right now, can you see on your chart what you'd be paying for that?
170. Well, the stock is 174.
$174. Yeah.
Yeah, and the option probably would be selecting the 172. 172.50, like $2.37 per year.
Tremendous return.
And that's and one contract is equal to 100 shares, so it would be like $237 that to invest and then generate 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% return in a minute.
You have trade contracts, like one trade. In that case, it'd be about $270 for one contract, and if you're going to trade more than one, you got to do 2 contracts and 3 contracts, 4 contracts like that. But $270.
And because the equities that we choose to trade, Joe, are high volume, they have huge liquidity that you can do as much as you want. You can put in as much money on those positions as you want. And like Joe said, if you have $230, you do 1 contract. If you have more money, you do 2 contracts, and that'd be 460, and on and on. You do 10 contracts for 2,300. Yeah. However much you want to invest, you just do more contracts. And these positions do like that one Apple contract is already done 8,000 contracts today. So you're not going to be the market. You're not going to drive the market, and you'll be able to get in and out of the positions because of the huge volume that these stocks and ETFs trade at. So that's one of the critical parts about doing the micro moment trade or the momentum trade. Is part of the selection is making sure the equity that you're trading has lots of liquidity that can really get in and out really fast.
All of our clients do SPY, SPY, and it's I guess probably the largest index out there is S&P 500. Huge. I mean, G's and G's of shares. So it's obviously not going to go out of business.
Yeah, Joe. As I said, I did a put today on SPY, and that contract right now, there's already been 57,800 contracts traded in that today. So
Yeah.
again, there's where the liquidity comes in. There's huge trading that goes on, so it's easy to get in and out of the positions when you desire to do that. It's not like you have to wait around for somebody to come along.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, back in the olden days, 16 years ago, when Randy and I started doing this together, you had dial-up. Dial-up was the fastest thing. And I remember when E-Trade first came along with the first really kind of online trading. Really, it was a phone. We used a regular push button tone. You put in like that, total absolute calamity as far as trying to get it to work right. So things have improved so much. And I mean, our techniques are fantastic, and they've certainly improved over time. The CBOE guys out of Chicago and all the trading platforms.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, the things we can do today, we couldn't even have, even if we thought we might want to do them, we couldn't even do this back in 10, 15 years ago. The trading platforms, the information, the liquidities, everything just wasn't available to do that. Now, as you mentioned, every single trade, every single thing that the stock market has changed has just enhanced our ability to generate income. It's just made everything better.
Yeah. Back in the olden days, and we've been doing these seminars forever. So we were doing these 16 years ago. And Randy and I'd be up in front of an audience and we would say, "Do you have any problems?" Well, everybody had problems. The problems was not using the technique. The problem was getting the crazy things to execute dial-ups. And they'd punch something in on dial-up, and it was so slow, they would get anxious and do something, another trade while they had that one, hadn't even had time to execute. And so a lot of our resolving was taking care of those problems, but it didn't exist today. So,
Joe, most of the people on the podcast here today, they probably don't know what dial-up is. So
right, yeah.
it's been so long. In the last 10 years, it's just been point, click, and shoot, and everything just happens and goes along. But yeah, those beginning days way back in the early 2000s, that was challenging.
Oh yeah, when I lived in Miami working for Merrill Lynch. When I left there, moved back to Dallas, you still couldn't do this stuff at Merrill Lynch. This was not invented at Merrill Lynch. This was invented after I left Merrill and got back here. That's when they also started changing the trading platforms. I remember their platform back then was ancient, probably still is. But it's interesting. Well, Randy, you want to call it a morning?
Yeah, yep. We'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for your participation and your attentiveness, and of course this is being recorded, so people will be watching it later on as well. If you have questions, send any question you have into support@micromomenttrading.com, and we'll get back to you on any question you have.
You go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and all kinds of information, and where you can sign up for seminars, sign up for all Randy stuff, sign up for that seminar. I'm going to be doing that 2-day seminar here in around March, and a place to start. So, and it's brand new. So, okay, Randy, I guess Mike is going to come in and cut this off, I believe. So, is somebody, Carl, tried doing that using fractions? Not now.
Not now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week and a nice weekend, and hopefully you get to stay warm.
Yeah.
And it is winter time, and it
Yeah.
gets cold in the winter, but hopefully that the temperatures aren't too cold for you.
Okay.
And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, I'll be here. So I'll see you ready. Bye.
Bye.